The family had chosen the location for a simple weekend outing, an overnight trip to camp, cook over a fire, and enjoy the quiet of the late summer woods. They arrived on a Friday evening around 6 p.m., driving a mid-sized SUV with a small camping trailer. The site they selected was an old logging landing, a flat clearing of compacted soil bordered on three sides by Douglas fir and alder. To the north, the land sloped upward sharply into a rounded ridge about 100 feet high. The slope was steep, but sparsely vegetated in patches, allowing long views up and down the hillside. By the time they arrived, long shadows were falling across the clearing. They unhooked the trailer, set up folding chairs and a small table, and started preparing dinner on a propane stove. The kids, aged 8 and 11, played near the edge of the trees, collecting sticks and pretending to build a fort. Everything about the evening felt routine until shortly after dusk. Around 8:30, as the light faded and the first stars began to appear, the mother noticed a subtle change in the background sound of the forest. The steady chorus of insects had gone quiet. She glanced toward the tree line but saw nothing unusual. The father was finishing dishes near the trailer, and both kids were still nearby. Then a soft, rhythmic noise reached their ears. Not loud, but distinct. It came from up the slope behind camp. The sound was steady, like slow, heavy footsteps crunching through leaves. At first they assumed it was a deer or elk moving along the ridge. The father shined a flashlight briefly toward the slope, but saw only brush and trees. The sound stopped almost immediately, and after several moments of silence, they went back to their evening routine. By 9 p.m., the kids were inside the trailer preparing for bed, and the parents sat beside the small fire. The sky had gone fully dark, and a full moon hung above the trees. The stillness of the forest returned, broken only by an occasional breeze rustling the leaves. Then, from the same direction as before, came another sound, a dull thump. The father turned again with the flashlight and swept the beam slowly across the ridge. At first he saw nothing. Then, at the crest of the hill, between two trees, something caught the light. Movement, and then the outline of something massive and upright, standing motionless against the night sky. The distance from the camp to the hilltop was roughly 150 yards, yet the figure's size was apparent even at that range. It stood head and shoulders above the surrounding undergrowth. Its upper body was broad and dark, absorbing most of the flashlight's beam. For several seconds, it remained perfectly still, almost blending into the shadows of the trees behind it. Then, as the father steadied the light, the figure moved slightly, just enough to catch the moonlight along one side of its body.